Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 10th edition of the VegfestUK Chat, the second in the second series after the first series of 8 in the summer. Here we are, December 2020, in the middle of another lockdown. Hopefully, coming to the end of the COVID-19 crisis that has affected us all so much this year. We are now starting our third online event for the year, VegfestUK Online, for December the 12th and 13th, 2020. We do have a really excellent, packed program of live streams, all about a vegan way of life, vegan philosophy, plant-based living, plant-based diets, and all the people, some of the projects, some of the initiatives, and personalities and perseverance that goes up to make this most wonderful movement, and one that we will look back in years to come and think, yeah, nice one, sorted. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce my co-host for the weekend, and I do have so many high words for Karin. I'm not going to say so many today, just to say thank you, Karin. Thank you for being Karin. Thank you for being part of our show, and just thank you for everything you do to inspire people to be, more positive, happy, perhaps bring a smile, a bit of inspiration. I just love working with you. Karin Ridges.
Oh my God, I didn't know you were going to say that. All you do is play these tricks on me, Tim Barford, Mr. VegFest. Thank you so much. I've gone a little bit red. Welcome everybody to VegfestUK Chat. I am buzzing about today's show. I cannot believe it, Tim. Did you say this is our 10th show, our 10th chat? Cannot believe it. When Tim told me of his fantastic idea, I thought, wow, that's right up my street. We get to talk about our favourite subject, bring you wonderful guests, inspirational speakers, fantastic companies that we want to support, and they want your support as well, and everything to do with veganism. So I'm just buzzing about today's show, Tim, as well. So even though we're on this Saturday morning, but I'm feeling a little bit festive. So we're going to bring you some festive fun throughout the whole weekend as well.
Yeah, that's the idea, and I must admit it's not been that easy to raise a cheer for this festive season, but that's not going to stop us from having a little go at bringing to you for free all over the world at any time that you feel to choose to have a little watch. There is some fabulous live streams, presentations, and some excellent exhibitors. We've got some fabulous special offers. There really are some great aspects of this online experience. And although, of course, it's never quite like the real thing, let's hope that maybe a year from now, we'll be seeing a return to all those wonderful live events, and especially that thriving vegan event scene, which I think about a year ago, we were looking at something like 300 or 400 events in a year. And of course, that's all gone down to very, very minimal for 2020, but we will hope for a return in 21. Meanwhile, this weekend, we will be having a good look at a number of projects, people, personalities, and vegan initiatives in our awards ceremony. That's going to be coming up later on. And I think at the end of the show, Karin, today, we will have a little bit more in-depth rundown. So around about an hour from now, we'll be having a good look at what's what for the weekend. And of course, you can find it all on our website, vegfest.co.uk, and also on our Facebook page, VegfestUK. You can see a lot of the live streams, in fact, all of them on Twitter. And there'll be stuff on Instagram and the event page. And a little tiny reminder, Kay, that this is a free event. And although a lot of us do it all for the love, of course we do, there's also some costs to bear. If you're feeling in a position to perhaps support our event today with a £5 VegfestUK virtual ticket, you can go to our website, have a look there for the donor box there, virtual tickets. Please do feel free to buy one if you can. If not, feel free to spend some money on the wonderful shopping that we got. And, there's a lot of really good causes, we know, of course, this year that are just crying out for a bit of help. So if you're feeling in a position to, it'd be wonderful. Karin.
Well, we've just got an exciting show. I'm really buzzing about the whole weekend. We'll tell you more about that later. And yeah, loving what we're going to be talking about today. I think we may well kick off with some fantastic Christmas gifts. And I love the look of this one. This is from KT London. And personally, I've wanted to buy this kind of tea set myself for absolutely ages, Tim.
No, it's lovely. Katie London is a smashing outfit run by Katie, and this is some really fabulous teas that you can buy, some lovely gift sets too. So Katie London is our first little 5 top Xmas gift ideas, because of course it is seasonal, we're in December. Katie London, there you go, has some fabulous teas, fabulous gift sets. And they're also running a raffle this weekend too. And I think all you have to do to enter is just email. So you will find those details on the VegFest Facebook page. And also, this is going to be a lovely feature because we have a Labanti bag here, Karin. And our fave guest, Victoria, who was on our first show back in May, is going to be coming on, I think, a little bit later on, because Labanti, who make the most fabulous bags, obviously all vegan, of course, are running also a competition. I believe they have a winner, and there will be a little big giveaway announced by Victoria in about an hour's time here on the programme.
They're very high-end, they're beautiful bags. And yes, we are giving you the chance to win one with our wonderful friend, the inspirational Victoria Featherstone Pierce. And Labanti, well worth having a look into. Maybe a gift for yourself, for your loved ones. They're a bag, I feel, that are going to really stand the test of time. They're very high-end, very good quality. And I think that's what it's all about, slow fashion. And I've got to say, I am in love with these products here in particular. It was only a few years ago, this was impossible to find vegan, wasn't it, Tim?
Yeah, panettones from the Free From Italy crew. We've focused on these before, and I don't think these would sit around very long. No. I must admit, these would be more like fast, devoured, quickly eaten with relish. And, you know, probably sort of tucked away for a little bit later so no one else could get it in our household. Karin, is that how your household operates? Probably not. You probably share all of your wonderful stuff. But here is really something that I think is, you know, favourite. I believe we probably spelled panettone wrong there. It's got 2 T's and 1 N, but not to worry, because you can get these from Free From Italy. Go to the Free From Italy website. Get yourself a panettone for Christmas. They come in 3 different flavours. There's a chocolate flavour, I believe. There's the organic wheat Christmas cake with the dolce entirely vegan, very seasonal, go vegan. And talking of vegan, Karin, VegFest had the pleasure of introducing Geordie Casanajana last week, and with the book launch for Ethical Vegan. So here's another fab gift idea, especially for the vegan in your life. Geordie's book, and Geordie will be on the show tomorrow, actually, talking at length about his case, which was a landmark case, and also been questioned quite intensely by Joe Brave about some of the issues raised in Ethical Vegan. So that's really one of interest to note tomorrow during our Animal Rights Summit. But Karin, I don't know if you've had a chance to read the book yet, possibly not, but I will recommend it.
Well, all I've heard and watching the show, the book launch last weekend with Juliet Galatly, with Peter Egan, and Peter has told me personally that, you know, he absolutely loves this book. And Peter told me that he would love for Geordie to win the Inspirational Person of the Year as well. So that's a bit of exciting news as well. But it is a book I want to read.
Yeah, and if you're short of gift ideas, Veelow Sustainable Store have some wonderful gift ideas. Really good place to go and have a visit. Congratulations on that seasonal festive touch, Veelow, with the little Christmas tree just dangling intimately of the V there in their poster. It's just fantastic, and they really are. They're new on the block, new kids on the block, as they say. Veelow, I think you'll be hearing more of them. They've got some great kit. And Karin, we love a bit of sustainable, I think, for 2020. It's the kind of buzzword, isn't it?
It's got to be the way to be. And what I liked when I looked at this company is that they've got bamboo products, they've got hemp products. These are clothing products. And I just feel that this is such a way to move forward, in particular with your clothing.
And of course, no animals are used in the process, which we should all remember this Christmas. I think very much about how we are really looking towards a world where we no longer use animals as commodities. And if there was ever an area that I think we are big fans of, Karin, guess what? We've come into sweets. Now, there's a topic talking about last month. We were gushing over some midget gems, I seem to remember. We can gush over the Jevons toffee, because the Jevons toffee is done by a very good friend of ours, actually, Leslie, and her husband and partner, a family firm, come up in the last few years, really building sustainably and going, nice and steadily. And it's wonderful to watch. Not only wonderful to watch, wonderful to eat too. Do you have a favourite there, Karin?
Smooch. They are absolutely outstanding. I took these products.
Is that like an old Rolo?
Yeah.
Wow.
I took these products onto a massive radio station in Essex, and they could not believe how gorgeous these products are. They've got to be my favourite. I mean, we all love a bit of Vigo. There's some great products out there, but I absolutely love their range. So, yeah, I'm firm faves. And it's great to see new people as well. I mean, this is the world's first chocolate-coated vegan gummy bar. I mean, how mind-blowing is that?
Well, you know what's even more interesting too, Karin, is that this was literally just released yesterday, which shows how wonderful our little chat show is, because it's kind of current. The people got in touch with us yesterday from Freedom Confectionery with their press release. And today we are promoting and advertising, telling the world about this most wonderful new creation indeed, the world's first chocolate-coated vegan gummy bar. And not only are they created by the wonderful Freedom Confectionery, they also involve moo-free chocolate, and they are distributed by Bravura and our good friend Lisa Gawthorne, who was on last month. So really one of the sort of within the family, as they say, the extended vegan family within the UK are sort of doing so many wonderful creations, and this is one of them. Talking of wonderful creations, a shout out for one of our best allies within the whole vegan movement is Kevin White. He set up Lakeside Ethical Treats just over 10 years ago now, so it's just celebrating 10th birthday, one of the very first vegan sweet shops in the UK. I think when they launched 10 years ago, they had about 3 products. And here they are now with a wonderful array. I know they've got a bit of a sale on for around about the seasonal time, so do go and have a little look at Kevin, who of course ran the wonderful West Midlands vegan event for a decade too, until it slightly ground to a couple of years ago. But you know what? I think it's going to be back. It'll be back. My money's on Kevin bringing back the West Midlands Vegan Fair when that Wolfram Hall gets redecorated, and when they finish that job in another couple of years, by the look of it. So well done, Kevin.
Well done. And Kevin will be the first to tell you that every single VegFest, I make a beeline for this stall in particular. Vegan walnut whips and vegan cream eggs. I always tell him to put some aside for me as well in case he sells out. And often, he's sold out of quite a few. Oh, I am well, Jill. That is not fair.
That's have a look at these, Karin. In fact,
no.
I'm going to unpeel one in front of you and demonstrate. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Look, this is what we've got from Perkia Foods. Have a look at that. Isn't that fabulous? Chocolate vegan, obviously. Kind of, bits of nuts and fruit and seeds. So dead healthy, like mine. This is a really good healthy snack. We love Perkia. They've been firm favourites at VegFest for a number of years. A wonderful family firm. Wonderful products. This is the whole thing. It's like, you know what? They're not just wonderful people. They're really, really good products. And I supermarket, Sainsbury's have actually run out of these two, I think, due to a fairly enthusiastic purchaser who's been on the strip the shelves bare. Probably stockpile too, which is naughty, isn't it? No, it's all right. I'm making up. I only bought these two, but I just pretend. Coming to stockpiling is coming up to cream egg time, early into, what is it, February? Cream egg time, traditionally? Vegan cream egg time.
Yeah,
Didn't they do cream eggs in February? Isn't that from my memory escapes me, but Mummy Meads are one of the new firms, I say new, the last few years, you know, really kind of groundbreaking, fabulous products. I know I've used that word a few times, but it's because they genuinely are. Okay, have you done the cream eggs? Is your household devoured Mummy Meads yet?
Yes, we were one of the first to try their vegan cream eggs, and downstairs, and I'm kicking myself for not bringing it up, every day we've been opening their advent calendar. And on top of that, they have got a mind-blowing Christmas range. They're absolutely stunning, really good chocolate. I don't like chocolate that's super, super dark and quite bitter. And Mummy Meg's is that nice in-between mix, you know. It tastes good, it's dairy-free, everybody's a winner. And yes, I've got some of their products on Veggie Vision as well. Love those guys. Met them at VegFest. Lovely family-run business.
Well, there we go, Karin. That's a swift rundown of 10 pretty exciting kind of, you know, 5 sweets, 5 gift ideas. And regular VegFest chat viewers, we know that we have some wonderful guests on, quite an array of different people. And we always value our guests coming on and just sharing a little bit of an insight into what they're doing out in the big, wide vegan world. And our guest today, particularly our first guest, I should say, because we have 3, is part of a really, really amazing charity that is basically working largely in care homes, largely with elderly people perhaps most vulnerable too. And what started off as quite a sort of you know, small enterprise has really grown rapidly. And I think, Karin, you know more than I do, but Vegetarian for Life, V for Life, have been running the mature zone at VegFest for about the last 5-6 years. Always a massive part of our show and very much valued. As indeed is our first guest, so Karin, would you do the honours, please, and introduce our very first guest for VegFest Chat December 2020?
Well, I can't wait to speak to Amanda. I find her absolutely inspirational. The charity has had a place in my heart for many, many years. The work they do is so vital, and I get very emotional, and we'll find out more when we speak to Amanda, the CEO, Amanda Woodvine of V for Life. And I have the pleasure of working with the team as well. Good morning, Amanda. Welcome.
Morning. Joining you from under a cloud in Manchester.
Oh, wonderful. It's lovely to see you this morning. And, you know, the charity has a special place in my heart. It does in your heart for different reasons as well. But shall we just kick off with giving us an outline of the work? Because I've been working with you guys, and you know I'm singing your praises, and I feel very blessed to be working with you and helping get the message out there, because you do incredible work that some people may not know what V for Life does. So is that okay to give us a bit of an overview to start the ball rolling?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, we're often asked why there even needs to be a charity, especially for older vegans and vegetarians. And we like to tell a little story. So we tell the story of Sue, who's now in her late 80s. Unfortunately, like many people, arthritis has sort of struck. She's a long-term vegan. She's now unable to drive because of her health. So she's reliant now on either food from the corner shop if you can imagine your own corner shop, you might be lucky. It very much depends where in the UK you live. But generally, they can have quite a limited range of vegan products in particular. And then if you are reliant on preserved things, especially things like tins, imagine even being able to open them if you've now got something like arthritis. With age, it can limit your access to the larger supermarkets and that sort of thing that have got the better vegan ranges. So now you might start to consider local facilities such as lunch clubs or day centres. For someone like Sue, there's no vegan options in the local lunch club. You might laugh at this, you might cry at it. Sue was told, we can come along to the lunch club, you can bring your own food. We might still charge you to attend. So mind-boggling. So you might also then, again, many older people don't use the internet at all. So again, you're reliant on what people tell you in terms of the meals that you can access at home. If you look at the range of perhaps the largest and most well-known deliverer of meals to your door, you'll find there's only 2 vegan products. So if you're imagining you need feeding 24/7, well, not constantly eating, but do you know what I mean? You need feeding every day of the week. So one of those meals is going to be your lunch, one of those meals is going to be your dinner. So I suppose you can see that even in the community, there are issues specifically for older vegetarians and vegans. But then if we consider also a care setting, it can get even more complicated.
And you work very closely with care homes in particular, and we know it's a difficult time for care homes. Before the COVID situation, V4Life actually have roving chefs, and their role is to go in and talk and train and work with care homes to make sure that that person, that they may not have eaten meat, dairy products, they may have been vegetarian or vegan for 60 years, for 70 years, before we were even born. I mean, I think we do take it for granted. And I think, with the explosion of veganism, the abundance of vegan products, so many things online, social media and influencers, I think a lot of people kind of even forget sometimes that there are people that haven't eaten meat since before we were born. They didn't have the choices. It didn't stop them. I didn't have the choices 25 years ago. I didn't care less, to be honest. I knew I'd be vegan even if there was one choice. It didn't bother me. We're very lucky now, but I do think, Amanda, that sometimes we forget that veganism isn't owned by the 20-somethings and brilliant for their enthusiasm. But there are people out there now that they are vulnerable. They need our support. They don't want to eat meat products. They could be 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. I mean, there was one guy that you was working with. I know he sadly passed away, but he was 100 years old and a vegan. And, fit and, as active as he could be. And this is where the work for V4Life is just so vital. But the chefs are still roving, but they are roving online, aren't they?
Absolutely. So normally, as you say, Karin, they would visit care homes, lunch clubs, community centres, day centres, and any group really that caters for older vegetarians and vegans. So that's been really sort of inventive with this. They are still doing tens of demos, but they're now doing it virtually. So they've taken to the medium of things like Zoom, and they're offering a virtual vegan lunch club, which is the final... can't remember whether it's a Tuesday or a Thursday. I'll get back to you on that. But it runs once a month. So again, it's a chance to join together, all cook to the same recipe and socialise. But also, Ollie, who is based in London, has done a cracking job recently. So there's one Age UK group that he started working with, and they offer a day centre, and that day centre had no veggie options whatsoever, let alone vegan. So he was able to join the day centre on a big screen with other people joining him via Zoom. In the kitchen of that day centre, a member of staff was cooking along a vegan recipe that he was demonstrating on the screen, so they could all eat it at the end. So it's just opening people's eyes.
That's amazing. I know We've got a nice video, haven't we, Tim, and some images. Would we like to put them on, or have you got a question for Amanda beforehand?
No, there's some good videos. Hello, Amanda. I didn't take a look.
Oh.
It's fabulous the work you're doing, because there are a lot of people who are needing this work, and I know, Karin, you've been working closely together, and there are some very challenging, tough scenarios that is basically your day job. But there's also some pretty uplifting stuff too. But before we go on to that, I want to actually have a quick look at what's coming up with the chefs and some of the meals that are going to be there, and what some of our viewers will be able to learn, perhaps, cook and be able to help, and maybe be able to input a bit, prepare some good vegan food for people who are not able to access for Christmas especially. But before we do that, yes, there is some videos. There's a short video you've chosen that you've requested to play. Do you want to introduce that, Amanda, before we play it?
Yeah, so what we're going to see is a video of the sadly late Serena Coles, and this is lovely footage from BBC Two back in the 1970s. So you can imagine, with the limited number of channels, how popular this was and how much of a response that it's had. So I understand that it's the Vegan Society that sort of produced this little clip. This is just a little fragment of a much longer section, but I just wanted to introduce Serena and her story.
This is Serena Coles, one of our vice presidents. She's been a member almost from the beginning of the society, and she's a medical social worker. Tell us something of your experience.
Well, I became a vegetarian in 1943 during the difficult days of the war. And in those days we knew nothing about B12 or many of the other things that we now have. Soon afterwards, I realized that I wanted to become a vegan, because I suddenly knew that so much cruelty was involved with dairy produce.
And I believe you also brought up a son as a vegan.
Yes, my son was born in 1945, and I maintain, rightly or wrongly, that this was partly because I had improved so much in my own health that I was able to conceive.
So as Karin said, there's nothing new about being vegan. When you think, Serena's talking about B12 back in the 1970s, yeah, opens your eyes a bit, doesn't it? I wanted to introduce this story because back in the 1990s it was, some of the people that knew Serena from back in her really active, articulate campaigning days had lost contact with her and just wondered, is Serena still with us? What actually happened to her? And she was traced to being in a care home. And as we could see, she had been a very articulate and passionate vegan and an early vice president of the Vegan Society. When she was found in the care home, she actually had dementia. And in this care home, she was eating meat and dairy, which is really, really saddening. And it just goes, to show that any of us, we think we want to be vegan for the rest of our days. But sometimes the cruelty of things like dementia get in the way. One of the first person that ever came to the mature zone, the first ever mature zone at VegFest, was a lady called Kirsten. So first person to come through the door, and she said that she was the lady that found Serena in the care home. And Karin I believe Karin had links with the Vegan Society at that time, where Serena's story was kind of unearthed, so to speak. Kirsten had visited Serena wearing a Vegan Society lapel badge, and Serena said, "Vegan, I'm vegan," and that's new. So again, she was certainly resonating that she did have a vegan identity, and that's why V for Life campaigns so hard just to get care homes to remind people of imagery around veganism and people's identity in the same way that you would in any aspect of someone's identity, whether it's they're a football fan or what have you. That's so important. We do have a memory care pledge to be on the bright side. So
yeah, I mean, focus on some of the possibilities Amanda, Saturday morning for our chat show. And I think one of the things you've got going is this little campaign for card writing. Tell us briefly about this, because we've got a few slides that we're just going to go through.
So this is a new campaign that we launched on the 1st of October, which is National Older Vegetarians and Vegans Day. So we're encouraging anybody to get involved. If you feel that you can help, all that you need to do is write on as many or as few cards that we've got printed. You return them to us, we'll give you sample text to write, and we'll send a little vegan treat along with a card to older vegans and vegetarians living in UK care homes. And we do hope to send out 1,500 to raise a bit of a smile, and especially this time of year when some people might not get any visitors at all. And this next one, so APPG stands, you can understand why it's abbreviated. So All Party Parliamentary Group on Vegetarianism and Veganism, which we call the Veg APPG. So that was launched by V for Life and the Vegan Society 4 years ago, almost to the day, so December 2016. So it is a political forum where we can bring issues relating to veganism and vegetarianism to Parliament. So most recently, we heard about food security and the fantastic vegan food bank initiatives that are cropping up, and also the story of people like Sue, who I told at the start of this section, and how it actually does seem to be more difficult to keep up your vegan diet as you get older, but not with the likes of charities like us. You just might need a bit more support. So anyone interested in more information on that, it's vegappg.org.uk, but we've had some fantastic speakers there. Well, and this is, so also 5 years ago, we launched an annual award for excellence in vegetarian and vegan care catering. So the last ceremony for that was held just last week. It had loads of fun. It's normally held in Parliament, but we thought, lockdown, obviously can't make Parliament happen this time round. So we got some fantastic celebrities involved, including some friends of the show. So Peter Egan was there, Wendy Turner-Webster, Gary Webster were all there, just to actually acknowledge the hard work that some people are doing despite the pandemic to make sure that people's identity is respected in a care home. And again, do have a read about the wonderful finalists. We had 12 finalists this year. It was a really tough job choosing between them. Had a special recognition award. Some fantastic wholesalers cropping up that specifically serve the care sector. So in particular, Bid Food won our Veggie Wholesaler of the Year this time round, because it has now a dedicated vegan catalogue, hooray, good labelling, and so on. So never been easier, but still quite fun to do.
The work you do is fantastic. I've actually don't want to ruin my makeup, but the Serena Cole's story, I know you said to me that she's the reason why you get out of bed every morning. I didn't know we had that in common, because it resonated with me 20 odd years ago when I was a trustee of the Vegan Society, and very new into sort of the vegan world 25 years ago. And it's a heartbreaking story. I mean, when you see her there on national TV talking about her veganism and the cruelty involved and the B12 issue, and that was 45 years ago. I just find it just so inspirational that even, after her, what happened later on in life, she's still inspiring people and inspiring V for Life. I wish we had another 3 hours, but you are doing much more this weekend, aren't you, Amanda?
Absolutely. Do tune in from 1 o'clock for the live stream. So we've got 3 of our fantastic chefs that will be demonstrating show-stopping vegan centerpieces, first time vegan Christmas, and that could be a whole spin-off for hours of conversation in its own right, and also festive vegan bakes, so loads of inspiration there. But we've also done some pre-records. There's a cooking for one and a winter warmers, so they're also available through the VegfestUK website.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, some interesting sound effects there, but thank you for joining us, Amanda. And we really are looking forward to these recipes. You know, I know there's a few people looking for a bit of inspiration this year. They're having to cook a Christmas dinner for the first time, and there is some really talented chefs. And on behalf of, you know, I know a number of people who've really valued your work this year. It is a tough area to work in, and it, you know, it requires a certain strength of spirit, I think, to work. And I know from personal experience, you know, how the care home environment is a very, very, very challenging one that has obviously had a huge stress on it, even more so this year, and for, you know, into the new year. So may you well continue your work. You know, we certainly value it. I know Karin is a massive fan, and I'm just really grateful that you've kept at it and you've been able to be here for the pandemic to really step up and help on so many levels. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you for joining us. And Karin, thank you for doing all the work too that you do with V for Life, and all your supporters. Well done.
Brilliant. Thanks, Amanda.
Pleasure.
Have a lovely rest of the weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Bye. Oh, you know what? Honestly, Tim, and my lovely viewer out there, Amanda is an absolute inspiration. The work that the whole team, the chefs, everybody at V for Life, go and find them on the social media. You can support them no matter what age and find out. Their recipes are great for everybody. Their advice is wonderful. And honestly, I didn't want to got makeup on, but you know, there's really moving stories, but also there's some fantastic stories of vegans in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They're still bodybuilding. You know, they're still passionate vegans. And I think we need to acknowledge that veganism didn't start now. It started a very long time ago. We are certainly, as I said in my regular column in America, we are standing on the shoulders of giants, and I believe that firmly. So, yeah, please do check out V for Life.
And on that note, Karin, it's worth just saying that, you know, there's a really good series on our website about the growth of the vegan social movement. And that's something that will be covered tomorrow during the Animal Rights Summit. I know about how the vegan social movement kind of started in 1944 with the formation of the Vegan Society, but it's very much about the growth of a social movement as distinct from the growth of the pretty much plant-based diets, which of course culturally go back millennia all over the world. So we've been watching this growth going on for millennia. And you can trace back the history, thousands of years of people advocating not just plant-based diets, but the philosophy that we now recognize as veganism. But it's that key point in 1944 November when a number of people came together and formed what we recognize now as the beginnings of a social movement, which is effectively people coming together and making a movement. And throughout history and throughout social justice movements, we've seen these times. But I certainly would acknowledge the depth of cultural variation and diversity and millennia that plant-based diets and philosophy of veganism has been growing. But that's something we'll be covering in depth in tomorrow with Jay Brave and Geordie Kazamajana in the Animal Rights Summit. If you're watching this later on, of course, you can catch up with that on the VegfestUK website. Just go to the live streams page, check out the December live streams, have a scroll down, and you'll see, you know, obviously you won't see the one tomorrow yet because it's tomorrow. But if you're looking back, well, that might be there. So there you go. But on that note, we will just rapidly move on and say thank you again for Amanda for joining us, all the work that V for Life are doing.
Love it.
Yeah,
But
you know, there's a lot you can do to make things easier. Those little card writing campaigns, maybe providing some food or some supplies. You know, is just keep you in touch. Actually, you know, little email and that kind of thing. So, Karin, what have we got next? We got some. Actually, our three favourite brands that we're talking about at the moment. So we talked about them last month. Having another little look at them this month, and that is, first of all, the Leaf Life CBD drinks. Now, I know you've been doing a little bit of research, got a few notes on the Leaf Life, because Karin, I don't think we've tried this actually ourselves, have we? Unlike the Perky Bar, which we have devoured with relish, but I think the idea of having a CBD infused drink into what's also a clean, made with real fruit drink is right now something that I would say is particularly attractive with the Christmas on the horizon. Some naturally calm CBD Leaf Life drinks sound, very, very attractive at the moment.
Definitely. I love the fact that these are low in sugar. I think sugar is something that we should be considering. I love the flavours. I have tried them all. I'm a big lemonade fan. I do love lemonade, but I'm very mindful of ingredients that are in the more regular lemonade. So I will only have products that have ingredients that I believe in. And you can see on the front here that there's 15 mgs of CBD, which is, it's a nice amount in one drink for you to try out and know that the products and the ingredients are really doing you good. I think it's very important. And I think for me, the lemonade was probably my favourite. I think my hubby liked the relaxing raspberry in particular. But yeah.
I was just going to finish up with that, a little bit about some product information about the Leaf Life. Just remember that it is vegan, of course, and it's approved by the Vegan Society. And as you mentioned, it is without any sugar. Each one is under 25 calories too. So looking also now at the peanut hottie. Now, Karin, you've tried this. I know this because we talked about this last time. The peanut hottie powder is slightly deceptive because immediately you think, oh, that's like a kind of hot. Oh, look, you've got some. Right, there you go. But it's more than a sort of drink, isn't it? It's like a whole product you can do really quite a lot with.
You can do. And again, it says on there, there is 80% less fat. I mean, everybody loves peanut butter, but there's no getting away that there's fat because of the peanuts. And yeah, I thought this sounded like a very interesting product. I love that I can add it to smoothies to get a peanutty kick without adding too many calories, without adding too much fat. I like that a lot. I love the fact that you can just mix this up with water and have it kind of tastes fresher, I suppose. You're making it yourself. That's what we found. You can make things like a satay sauce, which we've poured it over tofu, which tastes fantastic. You can use it in baking. There's lots of different things. I mean, I've never seen a powdered peanut butter before. I think it's rather groundbreaking. It tastes fantastic. Even so much so that that's my third one.
Your third one, and it comes in one of it comes in a chocolate flavour as well as the peanut butter flavour. So you've got a chocolate peanut butter and a peanut butter. And it is, I think the key is you point out there, Kay, of course, is it's very low in calories, which with peanuts, as we know, a lot of nuts are high fat content. So that's one of the really interesting points to think about the peanut hottie. It's not only its versatility, but the fact that it is, quite high in protein. There'll be good fibre content, but it will be low calorie. And that's certainly very attractive for a number of us, to consume that wonderful peanut flavour, which I, like many, just adore. Talking of adoring, Karin, last time I think actually we were gushing so much about midget gems and wine gums and such. It's slightly embarrassing actually because Lisa, who is our guest, Lisa Gawthorne, was sat sort of backstage just waiting to come on. And she did hear us just completely drool over, like a couple of sort of 7-year-olds completely obsessed with sweets. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that myself. I think it's absolutely fine to absolutely be pretty carried away with a range of sweets like that. And I know it's something you hold, very close to your heart, especially as a parent. Yeah. We did touch upon last time about some of the ingredients that you won't find in the free from fellows, but this is the whole thing. Free from fellows, they're free from the gelatin, and they are in some fabulous flavors. I mean, I'm not going to gush again about the midget gents just to say except that they are really good. You can get them from a number of outlets. You can buy them online from Bravura Foods. It's worth mentioning. You can follow them, of course, on Instagram and Kay, which again, without getting too carried away. What do you say about free from fellows?
I think the brand's fantastic. As you said, I think, when you've had a kid and you realise some products have got ingredients in that you really cannot quite believe. So a driving force for me has always been, I've wanted to see vegan-friendly sweets. The range, we pick them up in Sainsbury's, they're in Holland and Barrett, Ocado, Whole Foods, they're even in Boots, WH Smith's, they're in health food stores. You've got no excuse. You don't need to buy products with gelatine in. I'm a huge fan of the pear drops, I've got to say, and the rhubarb and custard in particular. I know you're a midget gem fan, aren't you, Tim? But I think
the jelly babies and the jelly beans and all of them. I'll be happy, apart from them rhubarb and custard ones, I'll be happy to try them all. So there you go. If anybody's looking for a Christmas fancy sending me, I'd be absolutely happy. Now, Kate, we're going to crack on here because we've got some wonderful initiatives to look at. I know we've got another guest waiting in the wings. The Art of Compassion Project. We are such big fans of the Art of Compassion Project. They an international collaborative of, probably 70, 80 artists contributing regularly to exhibitions, to fundraisers, and nearly everything is done to raise funds, generally for animal charities. And their calendar for 2021 is available. I'm sure we're all very happy to say goodbye to 2020. We're more than happy to welcome in 2021 with a fresh breath of positivity and aspirations and hope and focus. But you can do that knowing that you've also been looking after animal sanctuaries and their inhabitants and those people that run.
Definitely makes a wonderful present for yourself, for your friends. I just love this picture. I mean, how gorgeous do these animals look? The artwork is just stunning. So, yeah, I think this one in particular, there's some great calendars out there that are going to help animal sanctuaries. And this one, I think, does look really beautiful. So that's lovely.
Talking of looking fantastic, the Vegan Women's Leadership Network have collaborated with the Divinity Coalition, which has been supported by a number of campaigns around the world. And this is to encourage Kamala to go plant-based or even vegan. So this is a big deal because, of course, this is going to be the new vice president of the USA. I believe Kamala has expressed some support in the past for plant-based diets. There's a recognition of the climate impact of animal agriculture, and there's a real hope here, I think. And it is led, it's a really good-looking initiative. So very good friends, of course, because Katrina Fox, who founded the Vegan Women's Leadership Network just this year during lockdown back in March. Very brave initiative in many respects, but now really gathering pace. And that is a fabulous initiative that we're going to hope to hear more about. We will definitely be hearing more about this one because, of course, we've got Veganuary coming up, the vegan approach, specialising in helping people begin onto their plant-based diet journey and then discover more about veganism and really get into the whole kind of, whole arena of veganism, or at least to a minimum get into sort of plant-based living. Great people, great initiative, Kate.
It's a lovely initiative. Look, at the end of the day, some people obviously are coming into veganism right now. It's all new. It can be overwhelming. You know, you and I, Tim, we've got, what, I don't know, 60 years or more of veganism between us. So to us, it's second nature. What I love about the vegan approach are there's 6 steps to going vegan. When I coach journalists and celebrities to go vegan, one of the first things I say is find your motivation. What is the reason why now you are making that decision? That is something that if you have, you know, days where you kind of waver or you're not sure or you're falling back into hard or old habits, knowing your motivation, knowing your reason why is really interesting. And it's something that you need to know, because that will give you the strength to carry on. And I love that the vegan approach, they have these 6 steps. Decide what to eat, find out about nutrition, find vegan friendly restaurants, veganize your life, think about friends and family. They break it down. It doesn't have to be really huge. It doesn't have to be difficult. And proving that and backing that up, of course, we have the wonderful Plant-Based Health Challenge as well from the Plant-Based Health Professionals UK. I'm their biggest fan. Absolutely love what these do. These are doctors that are passionate about being vegan and telling you. They've got the research behind them, haven't they, Tim?
Yeah, they are. They're all evidence-based, and they also have that 21-day challenge, which is a new initiative. Just to finish on that note too, we had Dr. Shireen Kassan at 2:30 today in conversation, and Layla Dagan tomorrow joining us about animal rights and human health, both from the Plant-Based Health Professionals. And some people that we will be probably welcoming, hopefully, at our next show, actually, is the Vegan Organic Network. They've been really busy during lockdown over the last 9-10 months. Been doing a lot of online stuff, some quizzes, some information, some resources. Obviously, growth in interest in growing food now, food sustainability, local projects. And the Vegan Organic Network can be really valuable with the steady input. So it's a big shout out to all of the Vegan Organic Network team. Well done for a hugely dynamic and successful, supportive year. We really noticed how you've been producing online free content, and much like the Plant-Based Health Professionals and the vegan approach and the art compassion, you know, and V for Life, we know that they're all, and the Vegan Women's Leadership Network, they're all volunteer groups who are doing this to try and further the cause of plant-based diets and ethical veganism. And I tip my hat to all of you people who are still doing this during lockdown, and that you are not giving in. You are not letting these barriers stop your work. Indeed, you are utilising the very options that are appearing, and are in awe of many people out there working hard. And Karin, we get a chance to say that publicly. I consider that a real privilege, actually, a position of privilege, to be able to acknowledge publicly the vast effort going on, unseen, unheard, and unthanked often, but very, 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 very much an integral part of this change that we have to put in place as a matter of urgency if we're to provide some kind of realistic future for generations to come. Karin, we are going to be joined by our new guest now, somebody who has indeed been working very steadily, very hard, very thoroughly over the last few years, been a big part of VegFest, actually, quietly producing an inspiration in an area that, again, I think you and I share quite a passion for, which is the kitchen, and the particular speciality of our next guest is desserts and pastries, which, of course, for those of us going plant-based and vegan, which you're right, it is best part of 7 years ago now, well, 40 years ago I went plant-based. And you know, one of the things I missed was desserts and pastries. But fortunately, at hand, there's not only a new book, but our guest who wrote the book to tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love our guest. She's been on my radio show. It's standing room only when she's at VegFest. The only thing is Danielle. I call her Danielle M because she sat there for 10 minutes trying to teach me how to pronounce her surname.
Oh, Danielle Maupertuis.
Maupertuis. It sounds gorgeous. I don't do it justice, but hopefully, is Danielle with us? Yeah.
Hello.
Danielle, bonjour. Ça va? Good morning.
Hello, bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
So come on then, did we pronounce your name right? Maupertuis. That's
You
how
are
we say it.
absolutely right. Come on, Karin, come on. More. Bear. Three.
We were doing this live on air. Live on VegFest. Oh, look at you, you gorgeous lady. You're looking all festive and you've got some fabulous things as well.
Of course.
Shit, but it's like torture, isn't it? At least when you come on my radio show, I get to have some nibbles. But now all we can do is look and drool, Tim. It's not fair.
Trust me, it's delicious.
Oh.
This is a chocolate log. And this is a brownie boot.
Let's have a look at the brownie. Right? See the brownie, Danielle.
Oh.
We can see that. Yeah, here we go. Oh, very festive.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, Danielle, you are the epitome of showing people that we absolutely do not need eggs and milk and butter. We don't need the animal products to make the most gorgeous desserts. But you're not even just keeping that for yourself because you have a book that you've just launched. So you're going to be teaching the whole world how to create wonderful vegan masterpieces, aren't you? Have you got your book there?
Yes, I have it here.
Show it. Oh, look at that. A hardback book. It's got vegan on the front. Flick through it so we can all be tempted to rush out to Amazon or wherever. Flick through. Oh, there's not.
What's really interesting, Danielle, is that the title of the book is We Deserve More Than the Fruit Salad, and of course.
Yes, listen. I wanted to say sometimes I receive messages, but fruit salad is very good. Of course, I do agree. I have so many desserts with fresh fruits, but it was just, a way to impose the idea of nice and fine dining vegan desserts.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, because back in the 80s and the 90s, I mean, you were hard pressed to get a fruit salad, let alone, so, but it became a kind of stock answer to vegans. It's like, oh, have you got a dessert? It's like, oh, yes, we have a fabulous fruit salad. And it is a standing joke. What's unforgivable, though, these days is you can go into a restaurant or something. Well, you don't actually go to many restaurants right now because they're shut. But when you did used to go to restaurants, which I don't do often, to be honest, but if you did, you'd ask for a vegan dessert and they'd still offer you a fruit salad. And that's even like as recently as a year ago. Why on earth haven't they learned to create these extraordinarily marvelous concoctions that you do? I don't know. But tell us, Danielle, is there a real skill to this? Or is this something that you genuinely think people like, people...
No. This is quite important. My challenge is really to convince people that vegan desserts are easy to make, taste yummy, and look fantastic. Now, I think the most important thing to learn about vegan pastry is to get self-confidence. It's not only about a recipe. And how do you get self-confidence? By sharing recipes,
by sharing experience with other people, asking questions, making mistakes, correcting your mistakes. This is how you're going to increase your skills. There is nothing difficult about what I showed you here, for instance. This is just a brownie, and this is just a sponge and a chocolate mousse. Very easy.
But you would say it's easy because you are probably the world leader in this, Danielle. But it's not, you've been actually, you've been trained, you've worked in restaurants and hotels, haven't you? You've got such an incredible background.
Yes, of course, I have a background as a traditional vegan, traditional pastry chef. But well, a couple of years ago, when I worked as executive pastry chef in 5-star hotels here in London, when we had a vegan guest, it was a total panic. We didn't have anything to offer, and apart from a fruit salad, so this is another reason of the title, or a fruit sorbet. And so I think it was very, very frustrating, especially for a 5-star hotel. You have entitled to be quite demanding. This was very frustrating, and for the guests and for myself. So I decided to create my own range of vegan pastries, but they are mostly inspired by traditional recipes that I adapted to a vegan version. And this is how it started, and it's still going on this way.
That's wonderful. Where can people buy your book, Danielle? Because I think everybody should be rushing out and buying it, because no longer will you need to moan about the lack of vegan desserts. Even buy it for your restaurant or something. Buy it for your children.
Is there any campaign groups, Danielle, selling it? Can we point people to any campaign groups?
Of course.
Yeah. Who's selling the book? Who's got the book for sale?
The book is published by Olympia Publishers.
And are the vegan charities, are they selling it for you?
Not yet. I'm going to take contact with them after Christmas. I definitely will, because this is important. Yeah.
So where do you go now to buy it? Is it available to go to the publishers, or?
It is available to the publishers. It is available on Amazon, of course, and it is available through my website, freefromdesserts.com.
That's what we wanted. freefromdesserts.com. I'm just typing that in. Hopefully that'll appear up there, because we do want people
www. Yeah.
Freefromdesserts.com. That's Danielle Maupertuis. Karin's
Yeah.
There you go. And there we go. That's it. Danielle, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We can't wait to see you again and to be able to share in person some of your wonderful expertise. You really have brought a lot to the table. And I think for the high-end people especially, not that I ever really get to eat high-end, but I am aware, especially in places like London, there's been such a gap in the skill set there, and it's one that you've really helped fill, and that's really, really important work. So we're going to say goodbye now, but just say thank you very much for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Do enjoy that wonderful looking creation there. We're very jealous that we can't.
I'm sure we'll meet soon, and I will bring you some cakes.
Yay!
We can get your book. So freefromdesserts.com. Danielle Maupertuis, and the book, is about what's the title of the book again?
Vegans deserve better
than a fruit salad. There you go. Danielle, merci beaucoup. À plus tard. Au revoir. Merci.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. We love you, Danielle. Bye.
I love you too.
Oh, you know what? She is fabulous. She's got the best personality. I love her accent as well. She is just such the loveliest lady. Go and buy her book. Give her some love and support. She really deserves it. Oh, that was lovely. I'm just rather jealous, aren't you, that we don't get to try that chocolate log and the chocolate boot thing. It's not fair, is it?
You know, friends of ours come through publishing books. We had a few books we featured last month. You know, Fiona Oakes has got a book out. Dale Vince got a book out. Yeah. As we mentioned, Geordie Kazmajana's got a book out. Danielle Maupertuis has got a book out. Leila Kassam has a book out. There's been people really being busy during lockdown. Let's be honest. There's been written during lockdown. So fair shout. Talking of publications, Karin, moving on, as they say, which we try to do on VegFest Chat. We've got loads of stuff coming up during the weekend for the VegFest Online December event. You can go to VegfestUK, have a look at the live streams. We've got a number of publications, though, that we're just going to feature very briefly. Here's some really good inspiration. These are really good, especially for people to, when they're coming new. You know, it's a great idea for a gift. You can buy somebody a subscription to a vegan magazine. Now, how about that for an idea for outreach? Somebody's going to get delivered to their doorstep a monthly magazine for the whole of 2021. Get out of that one if you can. There you go. There's a really good outreach idea. Vegan Life is a brilliant mag. Of course, all the magazines have had a very tough time this year. So really counting on a bit of support, actually. We want to see these magazines flourish. Vegan Life, Karin, I know, is something I believe you actually write for. Do you?
Yeah, I have a regular monthly column in Vegan Life magazine. You know, all the magazines, they've all got their different personalities. They've all got their different feel about them. You know, pick them all up. Let's keep vegan magazines alive. You know, it's a tough time for everybody, but, you know, nothing beats just flicking through reading, being inspired. You know, vegan food and living, and a Veganuary daily newsletter, they tell us as well. So, you know, you can still be inspired, get their information every day. Well worth signing up to.
And they've all got a little bit of different quality. As I said, Vegan Life, you mentioned, it's sort of got bits also kind of broader vegan issues, some of the campaign issues and such like, some of the issues involved. Vegan food and living, very much focusing on the clue in the title, food and living. And it's these magazines especially just great in an outreach and coming into Veganuary. And Vegan Food and Living, particularly here, offering this sort of support. You get a daily newsletter. If you sign up, you can do it for free. Go to their website, Vegan Food and Living. Anthem Publishing is the publishing company. And they're a really good bunch. They're based in Bath, just up the road. Very, very tough here. And very much, you know, we'll welcome their initiatives and support for the growing vegan community in plant-based living is fantastic. Of course, the three groups we're featuring here too also have really good publications. Outrage magazine has been running a long time. It's published quarterly by Animal Aid. Of course, our very good friends at Animal Aid cover a wide range of campaigning issues, including wildlife, including animals in laboratories and animals in captivity. So, you know, kind of very broad and obviously animal focus. Outrage magazine, I know you're a big fan, Karin, of not only Animal Aid, but also, you know, the Vegan Society and Viva. But there's a lovely cover there too, isn't it? Look at that. I've got a fox in the back garden as it happens.
Yeah, we have. It's wonderful. It's been the most exciting thing to happen, apart from VegfestUK Chat and my lovely work for the past year. It's wonderful. But yeah, and the Vegan Society magazine. I mean, I've been a member of the Vegan Society for probably well over 25 years. And it's lovely. I think the thing is with these magazines, they're magazines you want to keep for a long time. And it's really fantastic when you have kept them for a long time to go back and look at what they were saying 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Well, talking about Karin, you know, that summer magazine there is a landmark magazine. It indicates, it really demonstrates where the vegan site has grown and a whole understanding of issues. And I'd just like to say, congratulations to George Gill too, because George has been the CEO of the vegan site for a number of years, and has performed an outstanding service in many respects, and really steadied a ship. And George, just want to say a personal thank you for everything you've done for the Vegan Society as the CEO. You really have helped enormously, and it's great to see the Vegan Society flourishing as it is. Of course, indeed with Viva Life, which the magazine from Viva Life is really rumbustious. It's just full, really bustling and vibrating with so much going on there. And we've had Juliet on a number of times. We're big fans of Viva. Sometimes critical, indeed, as we should be, I think, in the social justice movement. We should never be shy of being critical, but we should also be critical and supportive, constructive, and kind. And with that, we can be a movement that grows. And I know that Viva punching above their weight time and time again, and really boldly going where other people have not gone, sometimes running into a bit of backlash and pushback. That's understandable. If you don't have the bravery and the boldness together in the first place, then you're never going to get anything really. So well done, Viva. Well done, all the campaign groups.
Well you guys.
All those publications, all those people who keep putting vegan and plant-based living out there, accessible into all different formats. Now, talking of amazing things, which we've been doing for about an hour now, non-stop. Karin, we were going to welcome Victoria on today. Unfortunately, Victoria's not able to join us. Victoria was going to join us, though, to present the winner of the Lebanti Bag competition. Now, there's been a little bit of competition running recently on the VegFest channels, through the social media and such like, to win a Lebanti bag. This is Victoria Featherstone Pierce and her lovely dog, whose name escapes me. But there is also the winning bag too. So this beautiful yellow vegan, obviously, bag crafted by Lebanti Bags, Lebanti UK London. And I have the honour of naming the winner, and the winner is from the competition. Is going to appear very shortly on our screens. So if you're wondering who it is, the winner is Victoria Valentine Brown. Congratulations to Victoria Valentine Brown. You are the winner of this immaculate Lebanti bag, Lebanti UK London. Thank you very much. This is going to make an extremely amazing Christmas present. So somebody is going to just be bursting with joy and happiness right now, if they are watching, of course. And if not, then that's somebody who happens to be Victoria Valentine Brown. Will be finding out pretty rapidly. I can tell that's going to put a big smile on Victoria's face.
Absolutely. The brand is fantastic. There are some fantastic vegan brands out there. Lebanti, I know the guys behind them are really brilliant people. Lovely, lovely people. The lucky winner, another Victoria. We didn't get Victoria Featherstone Pierce, sadly, but she will be with us another time, I know. But the winner, Victoria. Victoria, if you are watching, our lovely winner, maybe send us a picture with you and your bag when you get it, because we'd love to see that.
Yeah, and a big thanks to Lebanti too for putting up the bag in the competition. You know, it's a great promotion for them, but also it's just a great thing to do. A great way to promote yourself is to give a quality gift away like that. I hope you got a good response. We're very grateful for the opportunity to run these kind of things, put a smile on people's faces. They're free to enter, and you know, it's sort of fun of the fair. And you know what, with these competitions, they're worth entering, because sometimes there's not vast amounts of people entering. You might think your chances of winning are 1 in 1,000 or something, but actually it might be, who knows, 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 30, 1 in 50, 1 in 100. You don't know, do you? But if you don't enter, you don't have a chance of winning. So it's always worth entering these competitions. Once again, congratulations to Victoria Valentine Brown for winning. So Karin, we've got the rest of the show to come up with. We're just going to whap through very briefly the other live streams that we have. There's a whole schedule that you can find on VegfestUK under the live streams in December. Next up at 11:30, which is only about 15 minutes, so we better hurry up and wrap up actually, is the panel with David and how to get funding for your vegan business. That's going to be literally on in about 15 minutes. That's basically looking at, if you've got a business, how can you get funding? You're going to be looking at crowdfunding. It's going to be looking at different ways of doing that, some of the impacts. I know that Mike from One Planet Pizza there has had quite a lot of experience. Claire Smith from Beyond Animal is joining us too. The gentleman in the middle escapes me from memory. So Karin, whilst you're briefly talking, I might just see if I can see that is. But there's a really good panel to come and join. And thank you for all of these people for bringing their expertise to the table and offering it for free.
Yeah, it's a really good lineup. If you're watching this live, thank you. And, do give us lots of loves and likes and thumbs up and shares and everything. This is going to be starting in the next 13 minutes. We've got the whole weekend jam-packed with the best experts. You have everything here, whether you're new to veganism, whether you want to be inspired and you're a long-term vegan like me, well over 20 odd years, 25 years, that you can learn about vegan absolutely every single day. We have it here for you, live. Hang out. We don't mind if you're laying in bed and watching this, if you're in your lounge, if you're in your office, whatever you're doing, we don't mind. You can join us and you can watch it all again as well. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on the VegfestUK website. All the links will be there and on all the social media as well. Yeah, I'm buzzing. And I'm going to be back later on as well. But I think Tim might want to say something first.
Yeah, well, Karin, basically, we've actually overrun. I just realised that our next panel starts in 12 minutes' time. So they'll be slightly concerned that we're going to sit here and just carry on chatting.
Yeah, we could do that.
But what I am going to do is just very briefly just run through what else is on today. You can find it all on the website. But after the panel with David, looking at funding for vegan businesses, we're going to be in conversation with Dr. Shireen Kassan.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting. We're going to look at some of the work of the plant-based health professionals, especially some of Shireen's background and some of the health things you can do a little bit to help maintain health. Obviously, focused on a plant-based diet. So Shireen will be with us at 2:30. 4 o'clock, we've got the awards. That's going to be great. We've got a big shift to do there, but we will be happily going to 200 nominees, 20 categories, plus not only the 20 winners and all the results, but 3 special awards that we've got for 2020 to mark 3 incredible projects and people actually have a special award. So more about that later. 5:30, indeed, about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Karin's Christmas cracker. Karin, who have you got on very briefly?
Well, I am really buzzing because I got a couple of texts while we were doing our VegFest chat. So just to confirm, because I'm just nosy, Tim. I am just a nosy person. I love to find out about other vegans. I want to find out what they tick, how they tick, why they went vegan, what their life is like. I love people and I love vegan people and being nosy. And I get to chat, and you do as well, my lovely viewer, if you tune in at 6 o'clock later. We're going to hang out with Lucy Watson, entrepreneur, influencer, passionate vegan. She set up her own business as a restaurant, a vegan restaurant. She told me when she hung out with me on the VegFest stage a couple of years ago at London Olympia, We're going to be chatting to Danny Hatchard, a fantastic actor. You'll know him as Danny Dyer's son in EastEnders, and he's gone on to do lots of other things as well. Loves being vegan. And we're going to hang out with the one and only Gary Webster, the husband of Wendy Turner Webster, another actor, again a bit of EastEnders, known for Minder, taking over from Dennis Waterman. He's been veggie for years and years, done Veganuary, has not looked back. He is loving being vegan. So we get to hang out with them. How often, how can you ever hang out with these type of people? I'm just so excited. So yeah, that's going to all happen here at 6 o'clock tonight. Karin's Christmas Cracker. I love that name, Tim. Thank you for thinking of that.
Karin, it's always I love the fact that, you've got some fabulous guests here, really interesting people, inspirational, and what's special is that generally they're entertainers, and entertainers big part in our lives. I think we've all seen culturally how much we value the arts, the entertainment, and possibly hasn't been as well valued. It should have been through this process, but I, for one, am just looking forward to so much a return to live events, people who can do, all the entertaining and such. So it's a special thing. So on that note, Kay, thank you for joining us again. We're going to wrap up now because we're going to go into our panel in 10 minutes' time with David Pannell and the Vegan Business Tribe and funding. But it has been, real pleasure to do yet another episode. You never know how many more chances you get. So you never know when you run out of chances to say wonderful things about wonderful people. So whilst I've still got the opportunity, I would say thank you to all the people who supported us this last year, but not really about us, but mostly people who are pushing for a vegan way of life, because that is really the future. That's what we got. It's a yardstick, and it's one that we can grab hold of and do something with, and we can really get on. I think especially this Veganuary, got a big opportunity to really, as a collective, really push through not only an understanding of the benefits of plant-based diets, but also about the position there of ethical veganism. So this is a real landmark, moment, I think, and I hope that our humble efforts, a very tiny little part, helping inspire people to do what they can to put an end to the use of animals, to bring through the benefits of plant-based diets for human health, and essentially protect our environment and protect our rapidly diminishing wildlife and the land that they use to live in. Let's turn back the clock. Let's turn back the animal agriculture, move forward plant-based living, and understand that animals are not ours to use. They're individuals. They're not a commodity. They have a life, and we have a moral obligation to uphold those rights and not violate those rights. And the way to do that is to go vegan and do your very best to minimise your impact on the freedom of other living beings. That's really what it's about, essentially. We're going to be exploring that in more detail. I wrap up, so thanks, because we've got 6 minutes now, and I'm going to get told off severely. But on that note, let's say goodbye, and hope to see you again. It's all on the VegfestUK. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back late shortly. Thank you.